Deep within the grand Art Deco halls of Sydney's iconic Hayden Orpheum Picture Palace, a unique and thunderous cinema experience has been playing out for over a decade. The room has established itself as one of the most notorious and underappreciated films of all time.
You can watch so many different movies and the room is just like in its own stratosphere.
Released in only a few cinemas in 2003, it was a box office flop.
It's so bad that it actually developed like a cult following.
Its dedicated fans love it for the unconventional storytelling, plot holes, and Tommy Wiseau's unique performance.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Greg Sestero, who plays Mark in the film, wrote a book about the surreal experience of making the movie in 2013, which James Franco and Seth Rogen turned into an award-winning film in 2017.
I've watched it so many times, I kind of love it. And we made a whole movie about it, and there's something great about it.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Now, a tribute to The Room is about to premiere at Sydney's most beloved cinema. It's a celebration of everything bizarre, brilliant, and baffling about Tommy Wiseau's creation. So I caught up with the one man who knows The Room, and Tommy, better than anyone. Actor, writer, and cult cinema ambassador, Greg Sestero. Let's dive into the heart of a cinematic catastrophe turned global obsession and the Sydney theatre that keeps the legend alive.
The Room, it's like as if an alien came down from outer space, watched soap operas for a week, and went back to its planet and created, a movie based on human interaction. That would be The Room.
Why did you do this? You know better, right? Why?
I'm sorry.
Tommy was such a fascinating performer. I met him in an acting class 4 years before we made The Room, and I saw him perform Shakespeare, and I just thought, man, this is so much fun. So when I saw a rough cut of The Room, I was glued. I thought it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
The Room was the passion project of Tommy Wiseau, who directed, wrote, and produced the film with a dream of making a great American drama. It cost $6 million to make, and Tommy paid for the entire production himself. To this day, nobody knows where he is from, how he acquired his wealth, or his age. Not even Greg, who has an extraordinary friendship with him and was the only person on set who could speak his language. He was the voice of reason amid the film's beautiful chaos.
There's no other movie like it. And then you have the element of the participation, which was inspired in all these, crazy scenes that people are watching.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
When we filmed the high mark scene, it was really something so unique because I sat there and I know, Tommy's such a passionate performer and he wanted to get it perfect. We did so many takes.
Rolling. Action.
Being on set every day was a surprise. I learned something new.
What's new with you?
Well, I'm just sitting up here thinking, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You think girls like to cheat like guys do?
I got the humor and the appeal of The Room because I thought Tommy was a very gregarious, dynamic performer, so to speak. Certain movies are of their time and they really sparked and had lightning in a bottle that you could never recreate. The Room was shot on 35mm film and it just has a look to it and a time. Its certifiable uniqueness is what makes it stand out and what makes people want to see it. I don't think you could even capture that on purpose. It just has to be something innate that is coming from a place of total sincerity.
It was that sincere attempt by Tommy Wiseau to portray a serious drama that turned this B-grade movie into a remarkable success as a black comedy. In its first few years, The Room was mostly unknown and savaged by critics. But it continued midnight screenings in LA, where it caught the attention of college students. They fell in love with its poor quality and hilarious inconsistencies, and started the tradition of throwing spoons and shouting lines. What began as a failed film quietly snowballed into a global cult phenomenon.
Our first screening of The Room was in late 2013. That was around the 10th anniversary of the film, and it had just started gaining this sort of cult buzz overseas, particularly in LA. We thought, well, look, this hasn't run in Sydney ever. Let's give it a crack. But we imagined it as a one-off screening. And we sold out our biggest theatre, 700 seats, and it was the most chaotic and just wonderfully wacky night out at the Cinema Rabbit. And then next thing you know, 13 years have gone by, and we're also the #1 highest grossing venue for The Room screenings around the globe. So we're pretty proud of that. In terms of the audience participation, the most famous one, of course, is the throwing of the spoons. So the reason for that is at many points during the film where there's a shot of some photo frames sitting in the apartment. They're actually just of stock photos of cutlery and things like that, because whoever's dressed the set hasn't had the time or the resources or been bothered to actually swap them out and put the characters in or anything like that. So anytime one of those is on screen, people yell spoon, and then they throw a bunch of spoons towards the screen. There's definitely a unique aspect of the fact that it's this heritage-listed, beautiful Art Deco theatre, which is housing this crazy, chaotic, noisy, boisterous screening once a month. On some levels, it doesn't make sense, but I think that's also part of the charm.
When you sit in that cinema, it's inspiring in its own way, especially having been around the world. It's one of those theaters that it almost feels like you're in an opera house, and then you put that movie on and you see all these spoons flying down.
The theatre is actually literally about to celebrate its 90th anniversary as a building. The Hayden Orpheum that people know is basically because of Mike Walsh, who saved the venue from being demolished in the late 80s, in putting all his own resources into essentially rescuing it and turning it into what it is today. And it's also just recently been heritage listed as well, quite a significant thing to happen. But beautiful, beautiful venue, and I think that's one of the reasons people connect with it so much. The fact that it's this combination of the old and the new. It's like stepping back in time when you walk through the doors. It's just beautiful.
People always laugh when I share lines that Australian fans have said.
The last time Greg Sestero was here for a Q&A, which was a couple of years ago for the 20th anniversary screening of The Room, he has an interactive thing he does where he likes to get people on stage and do a little bit of a live script reading, and the gentleman actually ended up proposing to his partner while they were in the middle of this live script reading.
Someone proposed on stage, and I really wanted to make it for the wedding. I was tied up with a few other things, but The Room has worked its way into people's lives that way is so surprising. It's brought people together, and that is all you can ask for when you make films, is that it brings people joy and entertains them. So I've become grateful over the years to know that that's what The Room has done for many people.
You look at something like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is the most famous cult film of all time. I mean, maybe this is second. That film used to have monthly screenings all over Sydney, for a period, and eventually these things die down, or the popularity's not quite there, or they're given a break. And in the example of Rocky Horror, we still run that, but it's something we probably run a few times a year as opposed to once a month, because it doesn't quite have the audience to sustain monthly screenings. So will that eventually happen to The Room? Quite possibly, but I guess we just won't know till that happens. What I do see happening is probably sometime in the next couple of years, The Room will end up being, quite possibly our #2 highest grossing film of all time. It will end up eventually overtaking Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, which is absolutely mad, but also quite wonderful.
One of Greg Sestero's most significant contributions to The Room came in 2013 with his acclaimed book, The Disaster Artist: My Life Inside the Room, the greatest bad movie ever made. It's a hilarious and surprisingly heartfelt insider account of the film's chaotic production, and of Greg's strange, enduring friendship with Tommy Wiseau. The book was adapted into a Golden Globe-winning, Oscar-nominated film directed by James Franco, which helped bring The Room to a much wider mainstream audience.
I would say it was about 7 years in when the movie started screening in New York and LA and all these other places. That's when I got the idea to write The Disaster Artist, because I thought, man, people love this movie. The story behind the making of The Room, I thought that would be an incredible story to share. When you watch The Room and there's got to be a crazy story behind it.
I cannot tell you, it's confidential.
Oh, come on, why not?
No, I can't. Anyway, how is your sex life?
3 weeks after the book came out, James Franco and Seth Rogen reached out. They were making a movie called The Interview at the time, and James was reading it on the set, and he had never seen The Room. He was reading the book, and halfway through, he's like, I got to make this story into a film. I want to play Tommy. My brother's got to play Greg. And Seth Rogen was like, I saw The Room when I first moved to LA.
Yeah, I saw about a year and a half maybe after it came out. I went and saw it with my wife, who I was dating at the time, and Jonah Hill and Ed Helms, actually.
Wow.
At the Sunset Laemmle 5. And it was mostly empty. And there was just kind of people starting to interact with it. But it's catastrophically, bizarrely bad.
If The Room is so bad, why do they love it so much? You know, when I met Tommy in the acting class, nobody got it. My mom didn't get it. People thought I was like really off to befriend this guy, to trust this guy. And there was something, a gut feeling I had that something was going to happen with Tommy in a way that would affect both our lives. And so I think following that gut instinct, going through a crazy journey, staying positive, and in the end, having out of all of this, you know, a successful, happy ending, obviously not in the way it was intended, but that I think is just a really beautiful story to share for anybody who wants to go out and create and follow their dream.
Very much. Lover, boy.
What are you doing this for?
For me, the book, there's some twisted stories, some darkness, and I think the movie adaptation is a much brighter, more hopeful version of the story. And I think it was great because it brought a lot of people to The Room, to the book, and left them with an inspiring feeling.
This set of the alleyway looks exactly like the real alleyway.
That's right.
Well, why don't we just shoot in the real alleyway?
Because it's a real Hollywood movie.
No, yeah, sounds good.
The latest chapter in this cinematic saga is a tribute called The Room Returns. It's a 30-minute retelling of the original's most iconic scenes. Directed by Brando Crawford and produced by the charity Acting for a Cause, the film features a stellar cast performing the original script, this time played completely straight.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh. Hi, Mark.
They said, do you want to do The Room? And I said, okay, I want to do it, but I don't want to make fun of it. I want to take the script and treat it as though I was given the script and told you have to act in this, and you have to do as good as you can, do it as well as you can. So I'm not making fun of the script, I'm not making fun of the character, I'm not making fun of Tommy Wiseau's performance. I'm doing that character as best as I can, and I'm trying to make it work emotionally and logically, which is really hard to do because it's a mess. But if I could pull off like 1 or 2 scenes where you watch it and go and feel something genuine, then I hope I will have won that.
We have the Australian premiere of it happening here on the 1st of August. This is the first time it's being screened outside of the States. I've seen a couple of scenes and it's quite surreal.
People are very strange these days. I used to know a girl, and she had a dozen guys.
You've got these, world-class actors delivering these lines and playing out these scenes. And I think Bob Odenkirk is a great choice for the Johnny character. And of course, Greg Sestero does have a cameo in the film as well, playing one of the smaller roles.
Bob Odenkirk's one of my favorite actors, and he loves The Room. He was in The Disaster Artist.
I could see you as Dracula, Frankenstein. I'm not Frankenstein. I'm hero.
He's just somebody who is just so skilled across the board. So that was a very fascinating thing to observe also, is how he approaches scenes.
The fact that this version is played, as an incredibly serious drama, I think, is a fascinating approach to it.
Anytime you're going to carry on a story or keep those characters going, I think you always have to take a new angle, because it's hard to compete with the original and the way people have connected to that for so long. That was done in one day on a green screen. I don't think anybody wants to recreate those sex scenes. So yeah, it's a celebration.
Really fun.
It's always great to have a creative challenge and have fun with something that you love.
Just to see the material, the exact same script, the exact same lines, but done in the most competent way, will be really fascinating. This is a whole new chapter of this with real legit actors. It's kind of wild.
You never know what a movie is going to do and how it's going to respond to people. And so over the years, I've asked, like, what keeps bringing you back? That, you know, people promote The Room on their own time. They love it that much. They create like posters and art because The Room speaks to them. And I think it's just because it's a movie you can't duplicate. There's no other movie like it.
It's certainly a great example of the power of cinema. When you get people in a dark room together and they're watching the same thing and they're having that same experience, it really is a special thing. And I don't think that experience is going away anytime soon.